So for quick action pattern is used for address the question of what can I do something with a particular object. So it's a pop-up trigger from a distinct visual target, for example, the user icon, or an entry in the list field. It should have minimal disruption on the screen. So usually it pops up like either right on top of the target object or below the target object. The actions within the quick action pop-up should be like fairly straightforward. It should be fast and fun to use. The user shouldn't need to think too much on what kind of stuff they can do with the quick actions. So some recommendation on quick actions. So try only present only the most important and obvious actions. So don't try to like include like 20 actions within the pop-up, and that doesn't make sense and confuse the user. And use it when the item doesn't have a detailed view. So so for example, the user icon, you probably don't have a detailed view after that. So use that in that case. And finally, don't use this pattern when your list view has support like multiple selection, because it's contextual specific. The fourth design pattern I'm going to talk about is the search bar. So it's pretty obvious, like this is the pattern to address the question of how can I find something in your application. It's a pop-in search form anchored to the top of the screen. So, and when it shows up, it should replace the action bar. And also it should support suggestions when someone's trying to search. And if you have a lot of like different type of data you can do search for, you can consider using the corpora selector, so showing like different types of things for the user to search under. So some recommendation. So use the search bar for simple searches. So don't try to use the search bar with a lot of like advanced filters, and present some rich suggestions. So don't just return the name. For example, if you are building a music application, don't just return the name of the song, maybe return the name of the singer as well. So to make because sometimes some of the names are almost exactly the same. So you provide more detailed information in the search results. And also in Android, you have like many ways to do search. So maybe from a physical button on your phone, or the on-screen search button in the action bar, or just start typing on the keyboard. So, but all of these like different ways should trigger the same search bar. So the last design pattern I'm going to talk about is the companion widget. So this is used to address the question of like, can I make this application a fun part of my user home screen? So it should support the app by displaying all the latest content and the capability on the home screen, on the user home, the user home screen. It also like should make the home screen of the user more custom and personalized. So some recommendation. So provide value above just a simple app icon when you design a widget. And for more complicated tasks, like hand it off to the real application. And be space efficient. So what that means is don't try to make a widget like occupy the whole home screen. So that just reduces the chance of people actually adding the widget to the screen. And finally, don't just provide a larger app launcher. So to summarize, like this is like kind of a blueprint of a great application. So you have a dashboard. That's where the user first land to your application. It should have a widget actually drive traffic, like drive user to your application. And within the dashboard, you have an action bar on top, like showing all your company logo and the search button, all the common actions, and within the dashboard, you have like 3 to 6 like major operations so your user know exactly what your application is doing. So the next section is like I'm going to talk a little bit about what all the UI framework feature and capability already available in Android, so you should take advantage of. So number one, like, obviously, like, try to use relative layout as much as possible. Another thing is, as you saw the statistics before, so for resource, try to at least like include medium density and high density resource. So that will cover almost like 90+% of your user. And consider using night patch, drawable, so that will make your buttons more scale in your application. And also consider using layer drawable. So this allows you to create different color buttons with only like a set of images. And there are a lot of like components in Android you should take advantage of. For example, the status bar, which is kind of unique in Android. Build a widget using the common widget design pattern. Try to incorporate your application in the universal quick search box, and try to use the live folder and, of course, the live wallpaper, which is also pretty unique in Android. Some guidelines on icons. So after Android 2.0, so we have a new icon style. So the new icons are now more tactile. It's more like render icon, and it's forward-facing, and it's top-lit. And Synecdoche, do you guys know what that means? So it's actually what that means is, like, for example, the calculator icon. So instead of using the whole calculator as the icon, so we used a symbol, the equal sign, to represent the calculator. So Synecdoche basically means like you use a part of things to represent the whole. So, and also the new style have a lot more diverse shapes and materials in the icon. So there are some resources in Android framework you can take advantage of. Like probably you can look at these like in the slide later available. And what we are currently working on, so we are working hard on making more extensive UI guidelines. And after Android 2.2, R6, we have a new type of project called library project. So if you are building multiple Android application, consider using the library project to extract some of the common shareable like resource and code and share, so you can share it among like different projects, Android project. So here are some of the do's and don'ts. And so don't try to simply port your application from another platform. So because like there are a lot of features in Android you should take advantage of. So don't just port your application from another platform to Android. And don't confuse your user. So make sure you do things consistently in your application. Use relative layout for sure, and use units like pixel independent, so like DP and SP for text. Use larger fonts. So not everyone have good eyesight like developer, right? So make sure you at least have options for your user to pick different font size. Also, create high density screen, and because you guys look at the step before, and make sure all the tappable targets are large enough. Like that's especially true when you ship actually application to America or to the West. And follow our icon guidelines. Make sure you use proper margin and padding, and support the dial pad and the trackball for navigation. And manipulate the activity stack correctly, and handle all the orientation changes. And to make your code more maintainable, consider using theme and styles. And if you think all these are too complicated for developers, So tell your boss this. So hire a visual and interaction designer. So it's totally worth the investment. So that's pretty much my presentation today, and thank you very much. Do I have time for questions? Oh, okay, maybe one. Any questions? All right, thank you.